afternoon. My name is Traci Prantner. I'm with the Wise Prantner Group at Compass, Florida, here in St. Cloud, Florida. I wanted to just kind of go over just some market updates that I've noticed and just kind of start to do some predictions of just things that I'm starting to see for 2022. So hopefully we can go over this, and I have go through with you kind of 4 different predictions that I have that I'm just kind of expecting for 2022. And then at the end of the year, we can figure out if I was right or not. So hope you don't mind me kind of geeking out on you today with a whole bunch of numbers, but just really wanting to kind of go over a lot of the very detailed numbers that I have been looking at lately. So let's get started. So I like to utilize Keeping Current Matters. They like to take kind of a whole bunch of different economists and kind of pull together numbers, and they look at all the different numbers across the United States. And what they did here is they just kind of took a look at the equity gains across the United States, and kind of the darker the blue, then the more equity that was kind of accumulated by the different homeowners. So I in particular live in Florida. And so you can kind of see where the national average was $56,000 in additional equity in just the last 12 months. So we're talking October 1st, 2020 to October 1st of 2021. Doesn't include anything that would have happened Q4 of last year. And Florida is ahead of that curve. So we're at $64,000. I know personally, I have seen that myself. So it definitely reigns true. So some of the other states really aren't seeing quite the drastic change. You'll also notice that over here on the West Coast that they're really seeing a big increase as well. So if we kind of go deeper into the Central Florida area, which is where I'm located, then if we look at kind of Orange County, Osceola County, and Polk County. And so what I did is I took 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, single family homes that were 1,600 to 2,000 square feet. So kind of a moderate, not very large house. So kind of just your average house is what I was trying to go for. No swimming pool at all in these houses, and they had to have less than an acre of land. So in December of 2020, the sales prices for those average at $270,000. Now in December of 2021, we're seeing that that has increased by 23% up to $333,000. So pretty drastic change. And then if we go even kind of a little bit more local to my area of Osceola County, then the average price back in December of 2020 was $277,000, and that has now increased to $326,000. Not quite the same jump that Orange County and Polk County saw. But then if we go even deeper to St. Cloud, which is full of lots of new construction and just a lot of families that are moving out of Orange County, or maybe they like this area because it's a nice little suburb of Orlando. So, but you still get a kind of a small town feel to it. So the average price there in December of 2020 was $267,000. And it is now averaging $358,000. So that was a 33% increase. So that was quite a difference. So one of the things that people are starting to ask, or kind of we keep hearing a lot about is there going to be a bubble burst? So a lot of the forbearances, the concerns about that. So if we look back at the peak of kind of during shutdown, you had 4.76 forbearance, and that is down to less than 1. So as far as the number of loans in active forbearance, so that is, and this is in the millions. So, it's 20% of what it was back at the peak. So kind of let's keep that in mind as we're going forward. So back in December, or just last month, so CNBC had a headline that thousands could soon lose or sell their homes due to as as the COVID mortgage bailouts expire? Well, there's fewer people who are in forbearance. So and then Realty Track also came out and just said that the fact that that foreclosure starts declined despite hundreds of thousands of borrowers exiting the CARES Act mortgage forbearance program over the last few months. So basically it's suggesting that the forbearance equals foreclosure narrative was completely incorrect. So that's just, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see, this massive trend of foreclosures coming about. So, which leads me to prediction number 1. So I do not predict that there's going to be any type of a bubble burst in 2022. You've got all that equity that's been gained in the last, just even in the last year, of $64,000 in Florida alone, average of, just over $50,000 across the United States. So there's too much equity in these houses. You've got several people who bought houses in that, during that crisis in kind of that 2008, 2010 time period. So where they were able to buy houses at fractions of what they're costing now. So even the people who bought high before that crash are now, they're out from underneath that, that negative equity. So even they have equity in their houses now. So it's not happening. I don't see that happening this year. So with that being said, what do I think will happen in 2022? So if we look at kind of the major economists, and just kind of forecasters, so Freddie Mac, MBA, and Zelman, they're all saying that home prices are going to continue to increase. So anywhere from 2.8% up to 7.4% of an increase. So if you just took that average at 5.2%, they're all saying house prices are going to continue to go up. What we saw kind of towards the tail end of last year was there had been about a 12% increase in sales prices here in my area. And so what we were just kind of, what I had been saying and this is kind of proving my point, is I don't see the prices increasing as drastically as they did kind of in that last, between 2020 and 2021. But I do see them either at least going up, or at least staying the same, and then probably increasing ever so slightly. It will feel as if the prices are probably stalling just because it's not such a drastic increase. So that is prediction number 2, that sales prices will slow down, but they are going to continue to increase. And then here's kind of the leading into the third part of this, which is, so you can kind of see where the mortgage interest rates have just increased kind of decreased so much. There was this huge dip. And what they're predicting is that over the next year, we're probably going to see about a 0.5, maybe even a little bit higher. So right now we're sitting at right around a 3.1% interest rate. So we might go as high as 3.7 by the end of next year. So prediction number 3, I think the interest rates are going to go up. I have no reason to disagree with these people. So, could I be wrong? Sure. I've been wrong about stuff before. Yes, I could be wrong. So let's just play around with some of these numbers. So if you had bought a home in December 2020, that house, and let's just take the St. Cloud numbers that we talked about before, that house would have cost you $267,000. December 2021, that same house was averaging $358,000. So, and let's just pretend that you did a 5% down payment and your interest rate. So these were the going interest rates at this point in time. December 2020 was 2.68, and then December 2021 was 3.1. So if you had bought that same 3-bedroom, 2-bath, less than a quarter of an acre, no pool, 1,600, 2,000 square feet, your monthly payment, this is just principal and interest, not including homeowners insurance, HOA, or taxes, would have been $1,028. That same house at the higher interest rate and at the higher purchase price is costing $1,452 a month. So if you had bought that house in December 2020, you would have had a $243,000 savings. So that could be in equity gain, that can be in, over the course of the life of the loan, just that monthly payment difference, not doing any type of special, annual rate, anything like that, just pure $452 minus $1,028 times 12 times 30. So super simple. $243,000 difference that you would have seen. Bet you wish you would have bought that house. If we, so let's just kind of play around a little bit more and let's pretend that, so let's talk through like, what would this cost you? Or what could it cost you? So let's pretend that the prices don't increase, but we do see an interest rate, the interest rates increasing. So we're using that December 2021 purchase price of $358,000, down payment of 5%, interest rate at 310. So that's a same $1,452 a month. Now let's say that interest rate does increase to that 3.7. Remember, that's what I talked about a couple slides ago. So that monthly payment is going to be $1,565. That is an additional $40,000 across 30-year loan. Again, just taking the monthly payment for 2022, this one right here, minus this one, times 12 times 30. So that's $40,000 that you would be spending additionally. It would be spread out across the month, so you wouldn't feel it as much, but still extra money. Let's pretend now that the prices increase, but the interest rate doesn't. So if we took that 5.2% increase, that average price that we showed a few slides back, that would go from, that house would be at 358, would be 376. That's an additional 5.2% on the purchase price. Same 5% down, same interest rate at 3.1. That monthly payment difference is $1,452 up to $1,528. So now you've paid an additional $18,000 at time of purchase, and you're paying an additional $27,000 across the life of the loan. So it's definitely can add up to if any of these predictions become true. And then what happens if they both happen? So let's pretend that the price increases and the interest rate increases. So now you've got that same purchase price increase, 358 up to 376, same down payment of 5%, that interest rate going from 3.1% up to 3.7%. Now your monthly payment is jumping from $1,452 up to $1,647 because you didn't increase your down payment at all. So your loan amount is more. So you have an additional $18,000 at time of purchase, and you also have an additional $70,000 across the life of the loan. So yikes, that's like almost $100,000. What is that? 88,800, we'll call it. So prediction number 4. If 1, 2, and 3 are true, I predict that you're going to wish that you had purchased some real estate in 2022. So if you have the means to do it, I certainly don't want anyone to ever purchase beyond their means. I don't want anyone to, if you need to wait, then wait. But I predict that you're going to wish that you would have purchased in 2022. So please remember these things. I am not a fortune teller. I kept my math super simple. Thank you so much for following along with me. I hope you found this valuable, and I am certainly glad that I bought my house when I did. So anyway, have a fantastic day. Again, my name is Traci Prantner. I am one of the principal real estate advisors with the Wise Prantner Group at Compass, Florida. Let me know how I can help you. If you disagree with anything, please reach out in comments or reach out privately. Let me know. If there's any real estate questions that you have, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to be a resource. Have a fantastic day.